Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Inner Conquest, the world's greatest modern metaphysics channel. What we're going to talk about today is how to approach subjects that have not been working out the way that you want them to from a general perspective. So when you have metaphysics in mind, right? So your goal is to achieve more money, better physique, acquire assets if you want, rental properties, cars, etc., right? When you look into how you feel about things, right? Feelings are your awareness of vibrations. So if you break it down to a very raw level, a vibration is something going back and forth. And then things vibrate at different rates. So when spiritual teachings talk about everything being one thing, there's only one substance, which is consciousness, right? So if you ever see the Matrix with Neo, there's all these different things going on. There's Agent Smith, there's a house, there's a wall, and then he goes into the Matrix and it's all ones and zeros. So he sees that everything is one thing, right? When you understand that everything is one thing and it has the same substance that creates it, the thing that differentiates things are the rate at which they vibrate. So you have different rates of vibration in water versus ice, right? It's the same type of substance, but it vibrates at a different molecular level, and it allows you to discern, and it also makes that thing appear in a certain formation. So when you understand vibration, it's really useful because when you're manifesting something, you're basically bringing it from unseen to seen. So what does that mean, right? How do you bring something from unseen into a seen world? Well, if you think about it in your mind, that is a manifestation. It wasn't there. Now you got a picture of a red bicycle in your mind, right? You can think about a red bicycle all day. You drive around town, your reticular activating system is showing you bicycles all over the place. And then on top of that as well, you can go buy or manifest a red bicycle that you can ride, right? So there's different levels of creation. And the goal is to work at the most leveraged level, meaning that if you're trying to create something that maybe you haven't had before, you would turn to metaphysics because there's no belief that you can do it with the amount of knowledge that you have currently. So if you're looking to make $10 million a month, there's no logical way that your brain can wrap your mind around doing that, because if you've only made 60K or 80K a year, you're just like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, what the fuck would I have to do? Because everything's compared to what you've done for money in the past, and the math just isn't mathing. So when you turn to manifestation, you're essentially reversing the process that most people live their life in. If you go and you see something and you have a emotional reaction to it, you will put that emotional reaction as the effect that was caused by you running into that thing. So if you run into something and you have a feeling about it, you're like, why is that thing making me feel that way? When you reverse engineer and start to understand your process in creating reality, you're occupying these states of consciousness, which are essentially parameters of awareness that are at specific vibrations that mean that they, like the water being at a certain vibration and the ice at a certain vibration, these different fields of consciousness produce different manifestations. And by produce, what that means is that, first off, they have their parameters. They're vibrating at a certain level that you can access through feeling. But additionally, things like law of attraction kick in. So the more you are aware of those vibrations, the more you activate them with your consciousness, the more things kind of get pulled into those vibrations. So when you're mastering that process, what you want to do is understand that there are two binary functions of your mind. There's fulfillment and there's non-fulfillment. So if I want to have a bigger house, right, and I'm in a house right now that's not what I want, if I keep giving my attention to the vibration of the house that I have, law of attraction is going to keep bringing me more and more of that vibration. So when I change my awareness to shift to thinking from the end as if I'm in a new house, that will begin to orchestrate and coordinate the universe in different ways based on that new vibration that I'm activating. Now, what happens is, the trap is that when you're in that old house, your vibration, because you haven't grown up with this way of thinking and this type of awareness, and I'm included in this, is your vibration is governed by your physical surroundings. So instead of being able to think and feel independent of physicalized circumstances, you have everything telling you who you are at an identity level, and additionally everything's telling you who you are and how to feel and how to think. So that's what happens where third dimensional realities can become hellscapes, because you don't have an ability to work out of your circumstances, because your circumstances, you've given them the power around you. So if you're in crippling poverty and all you see is poverty, you're like, damn, I'm never going to get out of this. This is crazy. That's the dominant vibration that you're offering because of your attention to your surroundings, right? And I'm not disqualifying anybody's feelings about that. Like, if you're in a really bad situation, it's very hard to reorient to a fourth dimensional, non-physicalized reality and just ignore everything else around you. But that's what you got to do. So when you start to go into a new type of thought process of like, hey, I'm going to be in a new house, I'm going to change my vibration of the version of me that's in that new house right now. What you do is you internally shift. So you internally shift, but you don't really care about the external reality, because the external reality is a reflection of the vibration, reflection or response to the vibration that you've been offering. Offering a vibration is just being aware of certain things that are vibrating at a certain level, which makes them basically magnetized and alive. So if you have a state of consciousness that is like wealth or poverty, the state within itself is dormant until you occupy it. So how do you occupy a state? You occupy a state by asserting your consciousness into it and becoming aware of it, right? So if you're aware of a certain state, you can energize that state and bring it to life. It's the same principle as being in a body, right? Your consciousness is a consciousness, and then you go into your body and you animate your body and you bring your body to life, right? What happens when you're not in your body? Well, you're dead and your body isn't alive anymore, right? So you are the source of life. That's very important to understand. When people say you're the source of life, right? What is life? Life is being alive. It's bringing things up from the dead, right? So when you insert yourself into a state, you bring that state alive. So this helps a lot with discernment, because if you have states that are unwanted, you can put yourself in a power position to understand that you are the life-giving force to that state. And without your life force energy, you can retract that and essentially let that state die on its own. So when you are going into a new house, you're beginning to work internally, and you start with thoughts, right? You start with the I amness, because I amness is the strongest identifying affirmation that you can do. I am in my new house. And then you charge it with emotion. I am so happy and grateful right now that I am in my new house, right? Now, once again, to refer back to the trap, once you start cultivating a new internal state, if you're dependent on the external state to sustain it, then you're going to be what's called double-minded, meaning that you'll go and look at this and look at that, and you'll be like, well, I'm not in the new house. I feel like a crazy person. I'm saying that I'm in the new house, but I'm not in the new house. That is, in my perspective, one of the larger hurdles, but the most rewarding hurdle that you can overcome, because once you kind of understand and start to link together that everything is just what you've been thinking and feeling, it's a response to that. It doesn't have any power over you anymore. And what you're really looking for, if you're looking for maximum freedom, is you're really looking to think and feel the way that you want to 100% of the time without needing conditions to think and feel. And the reason for that is because in your natural state, you are in alignment with love, power, and knowledge, meaning that you have all of the resources to basically build whatever reality you want without having anything tell you that you can't do it, right? But when you fall asleep and you go unconscious, in reality, these things around you build themselves into external gods, and they try to get your power because they want that emotion and they want to stay alive, because you're the source of life. When you inject yourself into a conscious state, you bring it alive. So when you start to wean yourself out of an unwanted state, it will nip at you and try to show you manifestations in terms of people, places, and circumstances that will have the objective of triggering you in order to take that emotion, take that energy from you so that it can sustain itself, because it doesn't have a life-giving force of its own, right? You see this a lot with thought pendulums, like in reality transurfing, right? If you have a thought pendulum that a lot of people believe in, it's trying to get more believers, right? It wants more energy. Everything wants energy, right? So when you begin to become indifferent to different circumstances that are unfavorable external to you, and reorient back into your center and understand that everything external is a reflection of how you've been thinking and feeling, and then you master thinking and feeling, and you master what you give your attention to, now you've got a responsive video game controller that allows you to manipulate the physical world on a much deeper, more personalized, more customizable level. So hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Feel free to leave comments of video suggestions that you have. Additionally, the link tree has all of the coaching options for calls and emails, so definitely check that out if you're looking to shift something specific. And other than that, the most important thing is go conquer it. I'll see you in the next one.